Welcome back to another episode of Consciously Clueless. I'm your host, Carly, and I'll be your guide on this journey from consciousness to cluelessness and back around again. Thanks for joining me for another Sunday solo episode. Whether it's Sunday night and you're gearing up for your week, it's Monday morning and you're on your way to work, or whatever day this podcast has found you, I'm really, really glad you're here. Before we get started, I just wanted to remind you that I am on Patreon and I'm having so much fun creating content for you all. Head over to patreon.com/consciouslycarly if you haven't already and see what's there for you. So, tonight I want to talk about 2020 and 2021. Tonight is the last Sunday solo podcast episode of the year. That's crazy. That is absolutely crazy. And I'm really, really thankful that I get to have this space. Last year I didn't have a podcast or a Patreon, or my business wasn't as big as it was, and I know that if that can happen during the dumpster fire of 2020, I can't freaking wait to see what happens in 2021. I honestly cannot. And I think that especially this year, there is a lot of readiness, let's say, to leave 2020 behind and start fresh. Myself included. I've been joking with friends for a few days now that I'm already in 2021, that I've left 2020 behind. And all joking aside, I am truly excited for the next year and for this idea of rebirth and renew. But also, in order to do that and in order to really notice your growth from moment to moment or year to year or whatever it is, and to feel that renew and rebirth, you have to reflect. So I think it's really important to take some time and reflect on 2020 and not just jokingly about everything that happened this year, but also find for you, even like the smallest thing, what were the positives and what did you learn? Now, if you're not a big journaler, I know some people aren't or they don't know where to start. I myself can never leave the house without a notebook. But if that's not you, you can even just take a few minutes now or after this podcast to just think through those questions. Or maybe call a friend and talk to them about their 2020 experience and reflect, not just bitch about it. And that's okay if that's a part of it. That's a part of the reflection, is noticing what didn't work, but also noticing what did. Like, it doesn't have to be monumental, but even the smallest of things and focusing on that. What did you learn in 2020? What was the biggest lesson you took away? What is something that didn't work for you in 2020? And something you're going to change moving forward. And once you do that work, it can help to better set you up for 2021 and to not repeat the things that already don't work. Sometimes we forget the things we've already tried. Sometimes we forget the things that didn't work and we keep trying again. But when we reflect and we really can see or hear or feel those lessons that were helpful and that weren't, it can make us set up a better foundation for moving forward. So this can be week to week, month to month, but I think especially this year, we need to do some reflection and find what worked and didn't work in our own lives so we can move forward and 2021 can be amazing. And I have a coworker who we, on New Year's Eve, were at a dance party, and we joke about it now. Like, remember when we were young and naive and dancing to 90s hip hop and thought 2020 was going to be our year. Remember that? And it's our joke. But there's something different feeling about 2021. There's something different. I know I'm different. We're all different every day. I think I wasn't ready for in 2020 was for things to all go wrong at the same time. Going through huge changes in life, changes in relationships, changes in where I live, changes in where I work. Now I'm working from home for my full-time job, changes in my business, COVID, problems with family, health issues, COVID. As a white woman, I was forced, and I mean that in the best way possible, to examine my own privilege even more than I already have because of this awakening that 2020 seemed to bring on another level for issues of racial inequality. And all of those things happened simultaneously, and it kicked my ass. It completely kicked my ass for a while. As I reflect on 2020, there are months I don't remember because of how dark it was. And now I know that I can get through that, and I can use that moving forward. I didn't know I was capable of getting through something like that because not before in my life had I endured trauma on trauma on trauma, and then dealing with it all. Shout out to my therapist. But now I know I can, and I feel a lot stronger and more confident. And not that things won't affect me, but that is something I have personally learned in 2020, and I'm guessing a lot of you can relate, is that I can do a lot more than I gave myself credit for. I can do more than I still give myself credit for. And that is really important to learn, and I want to keep moving forward with that. We are capable of so much more. And there are many who are not in this physical realm with us anymore because of all these things that happened in 2020. And that lesson is about cherishing time and cherishing people, because you just never know. You literally never know. And while that is really scary, that unknown piece, it's also really empowering because it makes you be that much more intentional with the time that you have with a loved one or with yourself, with this life, right? So reflect. What are those lessons, maybe related to mine? What are those lessons you got out of 2020 that you're bringing forward? And what are things that didn't work? I can tell you what didn't work. Pretending like I was fine. That shit didn't work. Because I wasn't. I wasn't fine. I needed help. I was depressed. I needed help. I needed support. And I want so badly to prove to the world that I am strong, even though really it's just me making that judgment and questioning if I'm strong or not. So that is something I'm leaving behind. My inability to reach out, ask for help, and say how I'm really doing. And only hold space for others and only help others to heal without healing myself. Because that doesn't work either. That absolutely does not work. It works for a while until it blows up in your face. At least that's my experience. So moving forward with those lessons, what are you going to do with them? What are you going to do with the things you've learned that work and that don't? What are you going to do with this knowledge? What are you going to do with this life? How are you taking care of yourself in 2021? Because when you take care of yourself, I've said it a million times and I'll keep saying it, when you take care of yourself, you are then ready to take care of the rest of the world. But only when you do that work on yourself first. This is something I have to constantly remind myself. I'm really good at preaching this one before practicing. I will straight up admit that. But how are you going to take care of yourself? Because when I take care of myself and truly take care of myself, I'm so much more available for all the other things I want to do. All the other projects and clients and students when I teach yoga, whatever it is, I'm so much more present when I've taken care of myself in the realest way possible. So how are you going to do that moving forward? And what do you want? What do you want next year? And the sky is the limit. What do you want in your life, in your relationships? Maybe there's physically something you want. What is that? Whatever it is, nothing is off limits. What do you want? Get really crystal clear on it. Because if you don't know what you want, how can you make it happen? So write down what you want in 2021, or think about it, or tell a friend. What are the things you are working towards? And know that if you can imagine them and if you can desire them, that's there for a reason. That desire is there for a reason. It was placed within you for a reason. That means it's possible. If you want it, it's possible. It just might take following some inspired action and trusting the process. Another struggle of mine, but I've gotten much better at it this year, is trusting the process. So what do you want? Don't stop yourself from thinking anything is possible. I am so ready for 2021. I am so ready. I can feel it. Every time I think about this new year, I'm just excited at the prospect of it. I'm so ready. And I'm so ready to keep offering things that people find useful in their journey. There's so many things that I want to put out and create, and so many things I already am. I'm so excited because 2021 is going to be the year that I have more clients and more students, and I connect with more of you, and I work one-on-one with more of you, and we have more group coaching with more of you, and I'm so ready. You don't have to start on January 1st. It doesn't have to be some big New Year's resolution that you don't keep. It can be tomorrow. It can be January 15th. It can be whatever you want. Just know that when you're ready, you'll feel it. And if you need me, I'm here. I am here for that. I am so here for that. Health and wellness coaching, yoga, breath work, meditation, all of that combined with manifestation work, new moon ceremonies, what I eat in a day videos. All of it. If that sounds like a good catalyst to put you on a track that you want to be on, reach out to me. And if you're not sure, reach out to me anyway. I want to hear more about it. I want to hear more about where you're moving. I want to hear about what you want in 2021. So let me know. Email me, consciouslycarly@gmail.com, or head over to my Facebook, Consciously Carly, or Instagram, Consciously Carly, and message me, or head over to my Patreon and you can see for yourself. I'm really excited. I'm really thankful that this podcast manifested in 2020. And I'm really excited to see where it will go in 2021. And I want to say thank you to every single person who has listened, every single person who has shown up for a yoga class, every single person who shares my content or is a patron on Patreon, anybody who is supporting me in this work. From the bottom of my soul, thank you so much. I'm really excited to keep moving. Thanks for listening to another episode of Consciously Clueless. If you're enjoying this podcast, head over and subscribe wherever you're listening so you can see when new episodes come out. If you're interested in helping me spread this podcast through the world to the ears of more listeners, send it to a friend, text it to a family member, share on social media, and tag me. Whatever you can do, I truly, truly, truly appreciate. See you in 2021, everybody.